Hello and welcome to Liban is listening. Just a couple of things I want to say up front. First of all, thank you for listening. Thank you and well done for listening. You know, and I mean that genuinely, well done for listening, because let's be honest, you could have very easily opened your podcast app and clicked on any one of the 100 podcasts that Google or Apple or some other company recommended. You could have Googled and gone to Reddit and asked what people listening to. You could have gone on Twitter, found out some personality who has a podcast and just listened to that. You could have just taken the easy route, but you didn't. You were dissatisfied with that. You maintained dignity, standards, a sense that there might be something greater out there. And you kept looking, you kept searching, you kept your eyes up in the stars and your feet and your hands digging in the soil, and you found us. So thank you, but more than thank you, well done. Something else I'd like to say. Keep playing, Liban. Keep playing. Keep it going. I'll let you know when you bring it home. I'll let you know when you bring it home. Another thing that I wanted to say, we have an email now. libanislistening@gmail.com. Liban is Liban, is listening@gmail.com. Get in touch. Give us your feedback. Give us your thoughts. One thing that Liban and I agreed to do, that I'm very excited about, is if any of you are out there and you make something, let's say you make music, maybe you make films on YouTube, maybe you've written a book, send it in and Liban and I will review it. We'll talk about it. We're going to be fair. We're going to be critical. Don't send us anything unless you're confident. Actually, you shouldn't be making anything if you're not confident. But send it in and we'll talk about it. Send us a poem. We'll read a poem. You know, we'll play a bit of your music on. Maybe even when we get some listeners, the listeners will get in touch and give you their feedback. You know, let's cultivate something beautiful here, some creative community. So, yeah. That's about it. Welcome and on with the show. Liban, take us home.
There we go. Welcome everybody.
Yeah,
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi.
Lovely.
Come sit down. Take the weight off your feet. God, it's been a long week, hasn't it? You've been busy. God.
You already putting the radio voice on, yeah? Indeed, yeah. Well, you had a longer week than me. You had COVID, didn't you?
God, it's been rough. I thought, you know, I've got the vaccines. I'm all good. I can go out and about, swan around town like a gladfly. Is it gladfly? No, it's a gadfly, isn't it?
Gadfly.
Gadfly. Yeah. It should be gladfly because the whole point of the phrase is you're jumping around all happy, right? Gladfly. I would say gladfly and all the biologists out there.
But gladflies don't actually exist. There's actually a fly called a gadfly.
I know, but I'm saying we're going to appropriate that term and we're going to make it a gladfly because I was out there like a gladfly.
I always say you're a man about town.
I am. I like
the listeners need to know that you are a man about town. Every day, so I'm having dinner with such and such. I've got an event at such and such. There's a network. Oh, I'm heading down here. You're really a man about town.
But I've become that way. I spent most of my 20s being a hermit, spending a lot of time on my own. And in my 30s, I decided I'm going to be a bit more social. I'm going to get out there and talk to people and see what's out there in the world. So
that's why I'm surprised. Because you used to be like a proper hermit like me. We just sat at home talking on MSN.
Now I'm out there getting COVID. So I got it. I had a horrific couple of days. I've mostly recovered. If you have a bit of if you hear too much coughing this episode, I do apologise. But I've got a lingering cough. What can we do?
Are you feeling now? You can't smell anything. No.
I can't smell anything, but I'm mostly over it. I'm feeling better.
Well, anyway, we did say this
Hmm.
podcast, we're going to bring it down a bit. We're going to do a chill podcast.
I Is that not what we did last episode? I feel like last episode and the last recording we did, we thought it went so badly that
Yeah.
we basically had to rescue it by cutting out the vast majority of it.
We did cut.
Was that
Yeah.
not low key enough? Was that not low energy
I don't
enough?
think it was okay. I think it was too high energy. But I mean, it was tension. It was bad energy. It was bad energy. It was like a Champions League final,
Yeah,
and it just goes wrong. You know that you're on a wire. You're wired up. You're
absolutely.
tense, and either you're going to play the greatest game of your life and
Yeah,
do something incredible, or you're gonna fuck up. And you can tell, like sometimes footballers in those finals, you can tell their first touch is all. If it goes right,
yeah,
that's it. They've entered the zone.
yeah.
They're,
But if they
you know,
touch it and it goes a bit
yeah,
further than they wanted
they
it to
fall to
go,
pieces.
that's it. It's game
Capitulation.
over.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what we did. We capitulated.
That's all right. That's all right. We live and we learn.
We live and we learn. We live and we learn. And listen, enjoy the tension of these early episodes, because eventually we won't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Eventually
it's
so
going to be
lazy.
routine.
Well, this is what I was going to talk. I was going to talk about. So I thought it would be a funny episode. I looked at a lot of other podcasts. I thought it'd be funny to clip a lot of other podcasts.
Yeah.
Play some of the clips, and then we could talk about them and rip the piss out of them. Because I also thought it'd be good marketing for us to pick a fight with a more popular podcast.
Okay.
Raptor style.
Yeah, absolutely.
First, you pick the guy in your ends first. You eat him alive. Suddenly, people are hearing about you in other boroughs. Now, you're going to London Championships. You work your way up there. Then you're on the national scene. Then you're a British rapper picking a fight with Drake. That's how we do it.
Absolutely. All right. I like this. I like the sound of that. So, who's the first victim? Have you looked up? Have you been looking up?
No.
Small podcasts with small people followings of like 300 to 500 people. We don't want to take on Joe Rogan day one. We're not going to sit here and go, Joe Rogan, we're coming for you.
Because in the end, here's the thing. Podcasts are shit, man. All these other podcasts, they are really shit. It was so I went on to like, you can find a list of the podcasts that earn the most money on Patreon, right? So I looked through the top 40, and first of all, the surprising thing is a lot of the big ones, they're about crime, like true crime, which is understandable. Like,
people love that, yeah.
Yeah, and then quite a few about food for some reason,
okay.
which I think is more of an insight into America, like the two great American neuroticisms.
Crime and food. Interesting.
Yeah. And then beyond that, it's just like friendship simulators, like what we're doing, right? And I listened to clips. I was dancing around. Okay, it's not the right way to listen to podcasts, but I listened to a bunch. And I also listened to some podcasts that like have 500 listens on YouTube.
That's who we need to attack. We need to attack the people with 500 listens.
That was a bizarre experience.
Tell me about it. What did you find?
I mean, listen, anyone who wants to... there's one podcast called The Viral Podcast, which is two women talking about sex.
Okay.
And I was actually going to clip a bit. I was going to clip a bit because, we had such a problem with a soundboard last time.
Yeah. These
women, right? Yeah. First of all, they're just girly chat, sex talk, whatever. It's not even in our sphere, so it's not... But they suddenly play this tune in the background, and then they both start singing this song where they're making sex noises. And I was just massively impressed by the fucking
creativity,
the cohesiveness of it all. And I was like, how these two, not bright sounding women, and then of course they had a sound engineer. I heard a man's voice come from the background. I was like, they've got a guy in the back doing all the sounds and stuff. I was like, fuck. I was impressed. They've only got 500 views now, so it's not that popular. But they're putting a lot of effort in. But
that just goes to show you what I was telling you, right? There's a reason why a lot of podcasts have a producer. Like you have two presenters who are very focused and present in the moment, and then you've got the producer who's slightly outside of it, who's setting up all the technical wizardry.
I still think, even Fraser Crane had Roz.
Yeah,
sound.
We need a Roz. Where's Roz?
We need a Roz. But if we get donations, I was thinking, if we get donations for a podcast, I'm going to buy a MIDI controller.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will just wire the buttons to certain sounds and I could just hit them easily rather than moving my mouse. Anyway, but here's the other thing I think about podcasts. There's no difference between podcasts that are getting 500 listens on YouTube and the ones that are getting 60 grand on Patreon. There's literally no fucking difference. It's the same vibe, the same fucking like types of people.
The ones that managed to catch wind just locked onto something. They just managed to find their audience somehow.
The one like coincidentally, they're all in New York, all the big ones. And they I think half of them are mates with each other. Which is that sounds kind of depressing. It's like connections, you know? So we need to move to New York, basically.
We need to move to New York, make some friends in the podcasting world. So we've got two different strategies. Our first strategy is to make enemies in the podcasting world by starting wars with other little podcasts. And then we also at the same time need to be making friends with podcasters in New York.
Big podcasters, yeah. I actually had a brilliant idea for marketing.
Yeah.
The podcast.
Go on.
I had a brilliant idea for marketing. And it's brilliant because it will get us instant attention for absolutely zero effort.
Go on.
Here's what we do. We put a podcast out. We do the title of the podcast. And then we put featuring special guest. And then we just put whoever featuring Adele, featuring Joe Rogan. And it's fucking foolproof. It's foolproof.
So is this every episode or is it just some...
Every episode, we just pick some kind. We want to nick a bit of their audience. We want to piggyback off their searches.
And you don't think that those people are going to come expecting to hear these famous voices and then they hear just you and me having a chit chat and then they'll turn on us and give us like one
you
star
think they'll turn on us?
Of course they will. They'll turn on you. They'll give you a 1-star rating on whatever website that they found us on. And then we'll slowly make our way down the list and then we'll disappear into obscurity. You've not considered the pettiness and the viciousness of the people who you're going to think about. If this happened to you, think of if there was someone you're really interested in, like an author or like Octavia Butler, for example. You're like, oh shit, I want to hear what she's got to say. And then you jump on and it's these two random dudes who've just used her name. You would turn so quickly. You would turn so quickly.
Would I turn so quickly? Would you turn quickly? Say that was you.
Absolutely. Oh my God. I would write scathing reviews.
Really? You would?
Yeah.
Maybe you're right, actually. I'm just trying to think about how to get in through the door. I'm not thinking about how to make the sale.
Yeah, absolutely. You're thinking short term. You need to think long term, Johnny. We need to get people's trust. We can't be breaking trust immediately.
Well, actually, there's one more thing I want to say about this. Maybe we can move on. There's one more thing I want to say. Another thing I noticed about top podcasts, right? Yeah. And this is actually, I noticed this across a lot of podcasts. One podcast in particular was bad or good for this. There's this one podcast supposed to be like a comedy podcast, like stand-up comedians. They make fuck tons of money every month, right? A very boring podcast. Only really one guy who talks a lot. They're not that funny, really. But this one guy talks, and there's another guy who this guy doesn't even matter what he says. It might even, if anything, can be even like misconstrued as a joke.
Yeah.
This other guy cracks up. He fucking yells, yelling like a villain at everything this guy does. Seriously.
So he's a hype man, basically. He's sitting there as a hype man. He's bringing the vibe and the energy.
Exactly.
He's there to laugh and be the audience surrogate.
Yes, they all do it. Even like the more down to earth NPR style shows. If they make like a mild, middle class people, their version of like a non-joke, whatever, they laugh. They laugh. We have to laugh at each other's jokes, Liban, if we want this to succeed.
I don't think we're in any danger of not laughing at each other. I don't know about you, but I laugh at the drop of a hat.
I don't laugh enough. I tend to smile.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Can you give me a guffaw? Give me a guffaw.
Oh fuck! I just sound like I'm in pain there.
That was horrific. That was terrible. Give me a chuckle.
Right, wait.
Give me a chuckle. Let's practice this. Give me a chuckle.
I can't do it, man.
Okay, forget. Give me Give me a belly laugh. Hold your belly as you laugh.
I can't do it, man. I can't fucking.
Listen, maybe that's not your role. Maybe I'm the one who's the laughy and the giggly one. Maybe like, you know, you found those other podcasts that had that dynamic. There's obviously not both people in there are going to be laughing and chuckling and giggling the whole time. I think we should just assume our natural roles. You're the guy who has the points to make, and I'm the guy who laughs and chuckles and just
No,
goes
you make me laugh.
shucking and jiving.
I was laughing when we did the episodes before. I was laughing, but I'm smiling more. I mean, I don't know if listeners can hear it, but when I find something hilarious, I just smile more than I laugh.
You need to talk to yourself in the mirror and be like, be vocal.
I need to
let the people know.
Yeah, I need to practice laughing. In fact, you know, you said I shouldn't. You banned me from my soundboard.
Yeah.
You admonished me for my soundboard, so I don't have it. Actually, you know what I put on the soundboard?
Have you got laughter sounds on the soundboard?
Well, not only that, I thought we could combine both things. So I actually took a lot of Adele's laughs.
Go on.
So I thought we could have featuring Adele.
Oh, that's
brilliant.
And then
she would be the laugh track.
Oh my God. Let's hear it. Let's hear some Adele laughing.
I thought we could just nick celebrities' laughter. We could just have featuring, you know.
Can we write featuring?
She's got a very weird laugh.
She's got a very distinctive. She's got a cackle as well. I call it a cackle. That's lovely. I think you should keep your finger on the mouse. We're gonna need that.
You really want to use it? Oh, now you like the soundboard. Now you like it
because that's such a well executed idea. I love it. And the thing is, I think we can use your idea of featuring famous people, but I'd like to add a little bit of honesty to that and make it, for example, featuring Adele's laughter, featuring Will Smith's laughter, or just something.
What's Will Smith's laugh like? Who has a
Eddie Murphy's laughter? He's got a distinct.
Oh mate, Eddie Murphy. Why didn't I think of it? Or we could just become a crime podcast.
So should we commit the crime?
I think we should just invent like a fucking series. This is the story of, you know, Michael Wilmot.
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there. That approaching it from the angle of the serial killer, immediately uninteresting. What's the one thing that people care about? White women in danger. You need to center it around the idea of a white woman in her 20s who's very attractive and who dies. And she's got a very basic name like Amber or Rebecca or Jessica. Jessica, there you go. So Jessica dies, and then it's all about unraveling her life and figuring out how her life interacted with the serial killer. That
is a brilliant idea, man. I mean, I'm not joking. That is a Patreon 60 grand a month idea right there.
That's what people care about. People care about.
That is what people care about. It is a woman thing.
There's literally one of the things that pissed me off the most the last year was in my area. There were two black women who were killed. In the middle of the summertime, they were in a park, very public park. It was about 9 or 10 in the evening. They were there for a birthday. Everybody left for the birthday party. It finished up, but the two sisters stayed in the park. They got murdered, and it barely got any attention in the news in this country. It was only my local Kilburn Gazette that covered the story. And then a month later, a white woman dies in South London, and the entire nation is in uproar. Everybody's like, oh my God, how could this tragedy happen? That could be my daughter. That could be your sister. Everybody suddenly gives a shit. And I was very disappointed. I mean, I've seen this happen so many times, but just to see it so blatantly in contrast, it's very sad, man.
Yeah. But let's not focus on the ugly reality of it. We're trying to make money here.
Oh, I don't know.
And we actually care
I've just
about
depressed
it.
myself. Why did I go on? I've just made myself really sad, Johnny.
Let's not focus on that.
The podcast is over. My energy is all gone.
No. The end of the podcast is not over. We need to find out what's happened to Jessica. Poor
What's
pretty
happened?
Jessica.
Poor pretty Jessica with the blue
You know what?
eyes.
What is that all about? Why do women love fucking serial killer? Maybe I think it's because it's so alien to them. It's a very man thing to be a psycho killer, isn't it?
I don't
You think
know.
that's why?
I couldn't tell you because I'm not interested in serial killers or crime.
I'm not, but women are. It's mostly women. I mean, I noticed that with the podcast. It was like,
Yeah, no, I've seen it. Like so many women I know who I work with and who are in my
yeah,
family, they love true crime stuff.
my girlfriend loves that. Yeah. Why do they like it? I think it's because it's so alien to them.
Maybe.
The masculine urge to kill. You know, because you don't have any women serial killers.
There must
Literally
be.
none.
There must be.
No. Women, and my girlfriend told me this, they 99% of the time kill someone they know.
Yeah.
So the women will kill, but they'll kill like their husband or someone they know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they could be a psycho and kill that way. But
Mhm.
you never get women who are like,
Killing
I don't know.
strangers.
Yeah, like Ted Bundy, who had a thing for blonde co-eds. I think that's the guy. Can't remember. You know what I mean?
But isn't the thing with serial killers that their need to kill is very much tied up in their sexuality? Like
Yeah.
they're always horny for the people that they're killing.
Yeah.
So is that absent in women?
I don't think it's. I think maybe the sexual urge in women is just not so aggressive. Like sexual urges in men are aggressive. Like, don't you think so?
Yeah, for
They're
the
quite
most
aggressive.
part.
That's getting Freudian. I like this. I like this.
I don't know where this all came from.
Put this in the culture section.
The culture corner, serial killers and why women love them. One of the things, so at the beginning of the episode, Johnny told you all that we've now got an email address where we want people to send us emails that we can read out and talk about. So I've got 3 emails to read out now, actually. And I know that people on the internet, they like to catch people out and say, oh my God, this was fake, that was fake. I want to make it perfectly clear what the 3 emails I'm reading today are 100% fake. I wrote them. And you're not catching anyone out. You're not going to cancel me. I am straight up telling you that I have fabricated these emails, which we are now going to read and discuss.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. He's lying. He's lying. These are genuine emails. I don't believe it.
All right. So I'm going to read the first one.
Go
I'm
on.
going to read the first one to you, Johnny.
To me?
I'm going to read it out to both.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought it was addressed to me. I was already getting worried. I don't think I can handle the pressure. The fame is getting to me. It's done. I'm out.
Okay. Hi, Johnny and Liban. My name is Fiammetta, and I'm a 25-year-old Italian girl from Naples in Italy. I'm a really big fan of you guys.
How old is she?
25.
Right.
I'm a really big fan of you guys, especially you, Liban. You sound like you would be a great lover, at times gentle, and at other times filled with an unrestrained, uncontainable passion. Anyway, sorry to get distracted. The reason I'm emailing is because I've recently become interested in conspiracy theories. Do you guys have a favorite conspiracy theory?
Oh, God.
Thanks and have a great day. Lots of love, Fiammetta.
Thank you very much for the letter, Fiammetta.
Thanks for emailing us. We really appreciate it. Please, if you've ever got any other questions, don't hesitate to email us again, Fiammetta.
And if you've got pictures, Liban is single.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know. Always on the lookout.
And I love the little insight there that Liban likes the idea of an Italian girl liking it. Interesting. Interesting.
Maybe.
Like a little hot-blooded, passionate Mediterranean. That's his style, perhaps.
So, she wants to know about favorite conspiracy theories. Do you have a favorite conspiracy theory, Johnny?
Listen, Fiammetta. Do I have a favorite conspiracy theory?
Yes.
You wanted to open this can of worms in the 3rd episode, Liban.
Well, we don't have to go deep into the world that you sometimes dwell in.
I don't sometimes dwell in it. I live in it. This is literally, I mean, I'm not joking. When we talk about podcasts, the only podcast I've listened to with any regularity for about 6 years is a conspiracy podcast called The Higher Side Chats. It's absolutely fantastic. The host is brilliant interview. They get a new guy every week. Brilliant podcast. Highly recommend it. I mean,
So of those 6 years, that you've been listening to it, what's your top conspiracy theory that you've heard? What caught your
Mate, there's no
imagination?
top one. There's no top
Surely
one.
there's something that you heard that you were like, that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant.
Everything, it's not about brilliant. This is true. You say that's brilliant, as if I'm looking at it for entertainment value. This shit is the truth. I'm listening to the truth. When you listen to the truth, you don't say that's brilliant.
What
say,
do you
"Fuck
hear?
that structure."
How do you feel? How do you feel when you hear the truth?
How do I feel when I hear the truth? I feel aligned with the universe.
Okay.
I feel like I feel like I've transcended. I feel transcendental. I feel.
You've seen behind the curtain.
That's right. And God knows there are many curtains. There are many curtains.
And all the curtains are real. Every single curtain.
No, the curtains are not real. The curtains are there to hide the truth.
Ah, okay.
Already you don't get it.
Yeah, see, this is what I need to understand. And this is what Fiametta's clearly interested in. Fiametta's, she's wondering what's going on behind the scenes.
Okay, listen,
she's exploring things.
Listen, if you get me started on this, I will start banging on forever.
Don't bang.
So
we don't want
start
you
with
to bang on.
Why don't we start with you?
My favorite conspiracy theory.
You're going to wind me up now, aren't you? Go on.
Why would I wind you up? I quite like the one about the royal family being lizards. I like that one. That one's
right. That's an old one. Yeah, that's an old one.
Yeah.
David Icke. Yeah.
So did that not exist before him? Before David
I think
Icke
he came up
went
with it.
a bit crazy, nobody had any idea, or the very concept that the royal family were lizard people did not exist.
I think it's basically an evolution of elites being part of secret cabals. It's just a kind of slightly more extreme version of, suspicion of super powerful people. That's why David Icke who I think he came up with the lizard thing. They're actually shape-shifting lizards. But there's a lot of other branches. It's basically the same theory, but there are other people who talk about, these guys are archons. There's other people that talk about these people are archons are like these. The archon conspiracy is very complex, but there's other people that talk about. I mean, there's a lot of anti-Semitic stuff as well. Obviously, that stuff branches off. But the lizard thing is, why do you like that one?
I don't know. I think it's the context of the story, maybe the fact that David Icke was just your regular sportscaster, and then he decided that he needed to tell the world. It's like Gary Lineker all of a sudden in the middle of Match of the Day turning to the TV and just going off on one, and it's just it's a weird but funny story to me.
I think you like it because it's funny, it's humorous, it's very easily disposed in it. You like it because it justifies your theory about all conspiracies. You're just this silly nonsense. That's why you like it, isn't it, Liban?
It could well be. Maybe you've struck at the core of why I love it. You're right. All right, cool.
Now, hang on. What's her name again?
Fiametta.
Fiametta. She was my favourite.
Yes.
What is that supposed to mean, my favourite?
I don't know. You'd have to ask her. I don't have her phone number. I can't call her and find out. Because she doesn't exist.
I believe she exists. I can easily make myself believe she exists.
Yeah, me too.
What's my favourite? Well, I think what's my favourite? Let me have a quick think. Okay, I have one thing. I have something that I'm very interested in. It's not really even conspiracy theory, but you won't hear about it anywhere except in conspiracy circles, which is the idea of kymatics.
The idea of what?
It's called kymatics. I think it's called kymatics, but it's the idea of sound and vibration being used to control people. Specific frequencies. You've probably heard about the 440 hertz conspiracy theory. That one's a bit thingy because that's about tuning. I get it, it's confusing, but I really do believe. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff. I'm not going to go into it because I could end up rambling and going around. But I won't make
the idea of sound and vibrations having effects on people.
Absolutely. And this is also how they control people. The music you listen to is absolutely so important because it really will form your mind and change you as a person. I mean, That is so important. I can't stress that enough. Be careful what music you listen to. Be careful. It's like a diet. And even more than just, obviously, if you spend all day looking on the internet at shit, memes and shit, that's like junk food. That's like mental junk food. But music especially, music is like a drug.
Yeah, because it gets under the guard very easily.
It's feelings. It's no ideas, just feelings.
No ideas, just feelings. So true.
Ideas, just feelings.
There you go, Fiametta. Be careful what you listen to. Sound and vibrations have a power to affect you that you don't even realize, because it's coming at you as feelings, no ideas. All right, on to our next email. It says here, good afternoon, Johnny and Liban. Greetings from the Philippines. My name is Andrea, and I'm a 32-year-old guy from Manila. I've been sharing your podcast with my group of friends, and we often include your famous quotes in our conversations. We love you guys, especially you, Liban. You sound like you would be a great lover, at times gentle, and at other times filled with an unrestrained, uncontainable passion. Ha ha ha, sorry, that was too forward of me. Are you guys interested in coming to the Philippines? We are the friendliest people in Asia, and I think you would have a great time here. Think about it. May God bless you and keep up the good work, Andrea.
Aren't they? Then they say the Thai people are the friendliest people in Asia. They say the Thai smile is.
I don't know.
I would love to go to that part of the world. I don't think I would.
Have you ever been to the Philippines?
Never been to Asia.
Never been to Asia.
But I love anywhere near the sea. I love anywhere near the sea. I actually have a friend who went to Thailand, and I was like, brilliant. Here's my chance. I'll go to Thailand. Turns out he lives in Chiang Mai, which is off the sea, like way.
It's not even near the coast.
And I was like, what the fuck is the point of living in Thailand if you're not even near the sea? To me, the sea is very important. I love the ocean. My dream is to live by the ocean.
And the Philippines is a nation of islands. They've got so many islands and island cities. So you'd be surrounded by the sea all the time.
Perfect. I bet you're so beautiful there. I bet you're so beautiful there.
I could
imagine. They're very religious. I know they're very religious as well.
Yes. I've met a few Filipinos, and every single one of them has been a very devout Christian. I think they're Catholic, aren't they? Because they had the Portuguese and Spanish settlers out there.
So it was an excellent subtle touch for you to put "God bless" at the end of that email.
Yes, I mean that's
good writing.
That's my cultural awareness entering this. But thank you very much, Andrea. Andrea, great question.
What was the question? There's no question or nothing.
He was he's asking if we're interested in coming to the Philippines. I'm definitely interested. I'd love to go and see.
Yeah, of course I would.
The only thing that worries me is I don't mind heat. I love a very hot place. But I'm not good with humidity. I can handle a dry heat, but not a wet heat. And from what I've seen of the Philippines and Thailand and Malaysia and Singapore and places like that, it does look like a very humid climate.
But that's weird you say that, because I love humidity.
Really?
I mean, I don't love it. Obviously, when it gets hot and uncomfortable, you get uncomfortable. That's the same with whatever. But I live in a very dry country now. It's the first time, because England is pretty humid. It's not humid like a swamp or something, but it's humid.
There's moisture in the air. Yeah.
There's moisture in the air. I come from the Mediterranean, very humid, obviously. And now I live in a dry country. I've never realized how my sinuses get fucked all the time. I get big headaches. I have to drink water all the fucking time. I have to constantly take baths. It's the only thing that fixes me. Like I'm literally, I realize that physically I'm genetically built to be by the ocean or in a humid environment. And you are from a part of the world which also is humid, right?
No. Somalia is a place.
It has coastlines.
It's got coastlines, but it's still for the most part a dry heat kind of place. It's quite close to. I don't know if actually it is equatorial, but it's getting towards there. I've spent time in countries like Egypt and Saudi Arabia where they have like 40-degree, 45-degree days. And I've found it just fine because it was a very dry kind of heat. I didn't have any issues when I was there.
Really?
No, I can handle that.
Okay. Yeah. I would love to do the Philippines. I think I could live there, in a little island. It'd be beautiful.
And apparently, the one thing I've noticed about the people of the Philippines, they can all sing. Like the average Filipino person has got an amazing
Really?
singing voice. Absolutely.
Really?
It's like the Welsh. You know, any Welsh person you ever meet has got an amazing singing voice. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
part of
that's
their
true.
culture. I don't know if it's like they do it in school or something. But certain nationalities, for some reason, the
Yeah,
average person is a great singer, and the
yeah.
Philippines are part of that little community.
That's interesting. Yeah. What's the Filipino cuisine like? Is it probably like Thai? Because I
I
imagine
don't know, you know.
Thai food, I always think, is basically if you mix Chinese food with Indian food. And I
Yeah,
think Thailand's kind of in between. So it makes
yeah,
sense to me.
yeah. And it's very
Like
spicy.
curried but noodles and stuff.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah,
Love,
great food.
love
Love
Thai
Thai
food.
food.
Not I'm not a fan of Chinese food.
Hmm.
Love curry more than anything. Love curry.
Love a good
Thai
curry.
food, you know, I love it because it's curry. But let me say something. If anyone
Yeah,
was going to send us emails, say
yeah,
come to our country,
yeah,
you better be willing to offer bed and board. All right. Don't just fucking ask me to come to your country, right?
yeah.
And then be like, if I turn up on your doorstep, say, oh, no, I didn't mean stay with me. I meant just come and I don't know, rent a hotel or something.
No, if there's one thing that our listeners need to be perfectly aware of, is that
We're
Johnny
broke.
is a man who will come. If you give him an
Yeah,
invitation, at
yeah.
some point
This
he
is
will
getting a
take you
bit
up
too,
on that.
yeah, this is getting a bit too close to my, yeah, but that's true. That's literally the story of my
But
life.
I actually really like that about you. I really like the idea of you taking up people on their offers and experiencing the world. Because a lot of people, they just make the offer and they assume that nobody's ever going to take them up on it. Whereas you are the
Honest.
guy who will take them up.
All right, let's not give too much information about that. But I will say, I just, you know, I think, I'm on a journey still to end
Mhm,
up back in the Mediterranean, living by the coast. And
mhm.
I curse my parents who emigrated from the Mediterranean to
Forever
London,
leaving there.
forever doing that. I wish they'd stayed there. I would rather grow up poor, eating fucking dirt, and living in one of the most beautiful places on the planet with the ocean right there, eating fish fresh out of the ocean.
But would you ever have been able to appreciate that if you didn't grow up in the claustrophobic London that you grew up in?
I
You take it
think
for
so.
granted. You take it for granted. It's only having experienced what you have that you can now sit there and be like, no, I know what I actually want.
Maybe, but you know what? I think I would have been just a simpleton, just a village simpleton, just doing, get up and go swim. Yeah, I'm coming home, I'm gonna eat now. Just that, you know. I was not meant to be smart. I was not meant to
You've been burdened. You've
suddenly.
been cursed with intelligence beyond your station.
My parents had to force me to eat from the tree of knowledge in
Right.
London,
How dare
and
they? These
I'm
motherfuckers.
forever sinned because of it. I'm cursed with the literary culture. I should have just remained illiterate and just been a village simpleton, you know?
I think there's a lot of people who are listening to this thinking this guy
What are they thinking?
he's absolutely right. He should not be spouting anything.
Oh, cunts.
All right.
Absolute
Thank you very much, Andrea. Andrea, 32 years old from Manila. Thank you for the email. Please, just as I said to Fiametta, if you ever want to email again, don't hesitate. Get in touch. We love this. Final email for today. I'm going to start reading out. It says, Salam alaikum, brother Johnny and brother Liban.
Alaikum salam.
Alaikum assalam. My name is Hussein Abdul Rashid, and I'm in my late 50s from Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. I discovered your podcast a few weeks ago as I want to improve my English listening skills, and a podcast such as yours is excellent to hear natural conversation. You are both very interesting men, especially you, Liban. You sound like you would be a great lover, at times gentle, and at other times filled with an unrestrained, uncontainable passion.
Well done for putting that off 3 times.
MashaAllah, I would gladly introduce you to my sister, was she not 6 years older than me and already a grandmother of 2. I have no questions for you today. I simply want to practice my English writing. Please accept this email with good intentions. May Allah bless you both. Good day, Hussein Abdul Rashid.
Thank you very much for the email, Hussein.
Hussein, what an email. Thank you. So kind.
Lovely.
Great intentions. He just wants to
We have,
practice his writing.
yeah. I
What a
don't know if
guy.
this is the best podcast to listen to for English, though. I mean, I have a horrible, slurring, mumbly, terrible accent.
But it's naturalistic. It's naturalistic conversation.
It's
It's
not.
not.
It's
This is
not.
what
Well,
people hear on the streets. This is two guys having a chat, going back and
you
forth.
think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's not really what you want. I mean, why would you
It is.
aspire
If
to
you're having
speak like a...
if you're having day-to-day conversations with people, this is the kind of thing that you want to be hearing and internalizing. You don't want to be
Yeah,
talking.
maybe.
You don't want to be talking like a BBC presenter.
Maybe. So no questions in that email.
Let me check. Let me just check. He says, I have no questions for you today. I simply want to practice my English writing. Please accept this email with good intentions. Yeah, no questions, Johnny.
Oh my
No
God, I just
questions.
realized you said that. He's like, right, I'm going to write a fake email. Actually put, I have no questions today. I just practice. Oh, Jesus Christ, you're something else, dude, man. You really are something else. Oh my
Did you
God.
like that? Did you enjoy that?
You know what? The thing is, I'm such an idiot, but I was listening to those emails. I genuinely suspended my disbelief and believed they were real emails. I could do it. Now I'm remembering that you wrote those emails. And I'm just thinking, what an insight, man. What an insight to what goes on in these little heads.
Listen, the world's an interesting place with a lot of interesting people in a lot of different places. Yeah. I wanted to write emails from out of the way places. I don't want emails from some guy in Cheshire. I don't want emails from some girl in middle of nowhere, USA.
You know what? There's probably a guy in Cheshire who's just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
He was in the middle of a 500-word email. He's like, well, fuck that then.
Paul from Cheshire, I have no interest in what you have to say, mate.
No.
I want you to keep listening, but Paul from Cheshire, please never ever email me. And if you do,
leave Paul
you
from
can go
Cheshire.
fuck yourself.
Leave Paul from Cheshire alone. Come on, Paul from Cheshire. He doesn't mean it. Send the email in. All right. Who
is he? When you hear Paul from Cheshire, who do you see in your head?
What's Cheshire story again? Is it on the outskirts of Manchester?
No, I think it's. Do you know? I couldn't even tell you. I just know it's somewhere for people who live in London say they're from. There's a lot of people from Cheshire in London for some reason.
I think Paul from Cheshire is a man burdened by mediocrity. He's a man who probably has a wife, has a Ford, drives a Ford, has a job, nondescript. I mean,
God,
maybe
he pushes a few. Very grey. He sounds. He
pushes a few. He pushes. He's a very grey. He's a very grey life, but everyone around him is a grey life. So he thinks, well, this is life. This is what life is. But there's something in him
that longs for something else, something slightly different. That's why he tracked us down.
I don't even think he longs really. It's just something not right. He's just not happy, and he probably doesn't even know that maybe he wants something else. So he takes it out. He bitches about his wife to his mates. He comes home from his mates. He's like, oh, they're actually a bunch of cunts, these guys. He watches the football. He's like, maybe takes it out by getting particularly angry at his team a bit. But then even that doesn't satisfy. I think it's that kind of life.
Fuck. That's
just so depressed it.
Oh my, Paul from Cheshire. First of all, I want to say I'm sorry for how I spoke to you earlier on. That was just coming from a reactionary place where I immediately felt like you were better than me and I was having a go at you for that. I wanted to come from a place of compassion now and try to understand you. So please do send me an email. I'm sorry for the way I acted. I didn't mean nothing by it. I'm sure that deep down you're a lovely bloke. Send us an email. We'll have a chat. We'll figure out where we can meet. Okay.
Oh, wait. I think we just got an email. Yeah, he just sent it live somehow. I don't know.
Fucking hell, Paul, you're on it.
He says,
what's Paul saying?
Hi. He says, hi, Johnny and Liban. Thanks for the kind words. Love the show, especially you, Liban. I think you would be a very good lover, gentle, but also not too, etc., etc. You get the
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much, Paul.
joke.
You're a gentleman and a
Oh,
scholar.
that's what it was. That's what was at the bottom of his latent anger.
Just a bit of, secret homosexuality that he's never been
Yes,
able to get out.
unfulfilled latent homosexual desires. That's what it was. We figured it out.
Bring it out, man. Come to Soho. Let's have a night out.
There you go. There you go.
Final section of today. Me and Johnny would like to talk to you about stock markets and investments. We've got stuff to say about
You've
what
got
we've
stuff to say, you said.
All right. So Johnny has been talking to me about getting into stocks for a good, would you say 3 or 4 years now?
More than I've been into stocks for about 5 or 6,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And people should know that, because a lot of people got in with the GME, a lot of people got in with the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I was in it way before that.
You were the original hipster. You were in it before it was cool.
I mean, I wasn't in it before it was cool. The markets were booming back then as well. This was like Obama turning into Trump,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And then maybe that's why I even got into stocks. So I thought, okay, one thing this cunt's going to do is make the stock market fly. Maybe I want a piece of that, you know? So about then.
Okay. So
That's when I got in.
I got into the game last January, and it's been absolutely incredible.
Can I just say,
yeah,
I've been badgering you to get into stocks for years.
Absolutely.
And it was only the GME shit.
Yes.
And I was very
disappointed.
I don't know. Well, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that you told me to get in for such a long time and I didn't.
Yeah.
And then when the rest of the sheep were getting in there, that's what got me finally excited enough to give it a go.
Yes.
Did I ever apologize to you for that?
No, I think we said that before.
I think I need to say sorry to you. Let me apologize to you, Johnny. I should have listened to you a long time ago.
Mate, you don't need to apologize. That was a bad time to get in as well. So the GME people got fucking slaughtered, didn't they?
Luckily, I never put that much into GME. I think I put in like £100, and then I spent all the rest of my money on actual regular stocks. But
you're gone.
The reason I want to talk about it is because I don't have a lot of vices. I'm not that into drugs. I'm not that into drinking. I'm not like, I don't go visiting prostitutes. I live a very, standard sort of life, and I don't have any vices until stocks. Whatever people get out of going to a casino and gambling, that's what I feel when I look into stocks, when I buy stocks, when I sell them and trade them. I have never felt as alive as I do as when I'm excited about a stock going up or seeing a stock that I've bought crashing and plummeting into nothing. There's a sense of feeling alive that's so addictive. At one point, I had a lot of money in a warrant, which is a specific kind of financial product that gives you lots
of... It's like an option.
Yeah.
Just say it's like an option.
It's like an option where...
High risk. Yeah.
Very high risk, a lot of high swings to either make you a lot of money quickly or to just disappear and burn it into the sky. And those few days between when I buy the warrant and when you either see it succeed or see it fail, those 2 or 3 days, the tenterhooks and the tension that I feel, it's an incredible feeling. If I could live in that moment of high adrenaline tension and just live in that state, I would do that. Oh my God, what an incredible rush.
It's physical. It's
100% physical. My chemical imbalance just goes through the roof. It's mental. I don't recommend this to anyone. This is not how you should be trading. You shouldn't be trading just because you want to feel something. you should not be trading because you want to feel alive. But I'm saying if you've got nothing else going on, if you're not into, cocaine, if you're not into heroin, if you don't get a thrill off by going to a BDSM dungeon and you want to feel alive, this is a pretty safe way. I mean, physically safe. It's a physically safe way to feel alive. You're probably going to ruin your life, but it's a physically safe way of getting to that ecstatic high that, I think that everybody should experience at some point.
You could completely understand why like Wall Street is a bunch of like testosterone fueled cunts.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know about you, but for me, it's a very like aggressive thing.
Very
like,
aggressive.
I feel like I've conquered something, like I've fucked something,
Oh
like
my
I've raped
God.
and pillaged
The days where I make money and I go green and I see a couple of £1,000 go up, holy shit. I feel like the most masculine feeling I've ever felt in my
primal.
life. I feel like a conqueror. I feel like I've utterly destroyed the market. I've conquered an entire nation's economy. I've gone out there and I've brought, oh my God, it is untouchable. And then at the same time, the days where you fail, where you see yourself go several £1,000s in the red, you feel so low, you feel so disgusting,
absolute humiliation,
pathetic. You feel like somebody just fucked your wife in front of you and then made you record it. You just feel all sorts of horrible things. And I'm not gonna lie to you, even those depths and those lows, I kind of enjoy them as well. It's sick. It's absolutely sick. This is, do you know what? I take it all back. Nobody should do this. Don't do it. My tale is a tale of warnings.
But I think it's just because there's risk involved.
Yeah.
And I think also maybe that's not actually so crazy and bizarre and weird. I mean, really, the abnormal thing, if you really think about it, take a step back, I think it's because we live such cushy lives in the modern world. We live cushy lives where we turn on a screen and do everything. Work, play, from the safety of your little office chair.
Yes.
Yeah. Even dating is basically like shopping on Amazon. But there's no risk anymore. And I think for especially men, it's real like risk when you see your money right there. It's in the fucking game.
Yeah.
And you're either going to lose it all, or you could fucking just walk out a conquering hero.
You can walk out like James Bond with that Bond girl on
your
arm.
I think it's I think it's because it's become so rare in modern life to take risks. To you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. We live very safe, pasteurized life. What's that process they do to milk to make it safe to drink? That's
pasteurized.
That's what we've done to our lives. We live very safe lives for the most part.
That's dangerous, man. Fuck.
It's so dangerous. When I look at it in the big picture and what it's doing to my body and the way I think about things, it's very exciting, but it's also so scary.
It's also fucked when you spend your whole life working your ass off and you've had like terrible fucking weeks of work. In fact, you've never had a good week of work. Work is just shit in general. And you grind out these weeks, and you're like, this is what people do. This is how you get money. And then you go on the stock market and you make like a month's salary, 20 fucking minutes. And you just pull it out. You're like, what the fuck? I've just conquered life. I've just found the secret of life.
Absolutely. You feel like you've absolutely figured out a secret trick that only the rich people know. And suddenly you've got a view into a life that you didn't even imagine that you could have, living the no ordinary existence that you do.
I mean, how can that not be exciting?
That's a hell of a feeling.
Fucking hell, man. And you know what? You have figured out a trick that the rich have figured out. I mean, you know, if I'd known now what I'd known when I was a kid, just buy some stocks and sit on it for 10 years and be miserable for those 10 years, but know that at the end of it, you're going to have enough to buy a fucking house or at least have a good time. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, it's all brilliant. It's all very exciting, but it's also very high risk. We could all end up with nothing. And I think it's that tension that makes it so exciting.
Well, the markets right now are fucked.
Yes, let's start playing that music bed underneath. I was coming at this and just telling the people about my emotional investment into this journey in investing. Let's get into a bit of nitty-gritty with Johnny.
okay, so the markets have been fucked. Today is the 21st of January,
Mhm.
but it's been brutal for months, right? It was brutal in October. There was a pump that happened, which I thought was hilarious, during the Christmas week, between Christmas and New Year's. If you were eagle-eyed,
From the
yeah,
26th to like the 30th, there
yeah,
was
it went up like
it went up
150
crazy,
points.
despite the fact that it's been crashing non-stop for ages.
Well, the thing is that pump, you should never have trusted that pump. It was on really low volume. I mean, all the cunts were off on holiday. They booked that week off. They don't come back for Christmas. They take Christmas off through, all the people with money, the big money guys. So that disappeared, right? The problem right now in the markets, there's a bunch of shit that's gone wrong, right? So there's inflation that finally has to be tackled because it is mental. Everyone's been printing money like crazy since COVID. I think the inflation could have been fine. America is very good at absorbing inflation because it's the world currency, world reserve currency. Other countries love the dollar, they're willing to buy the dollar. So usually America can print money like fuck. And they have been printing money. That's literally how Obama got out of the housing crash. They print money, it's fine. Okay, they've been printing like crazy, but they probably could have, done it steadily. The problem is everything else went to shit as well, right? People have quit their jobs, right? Obviously, the supply side, what do you call it? The supply shortage, whatever it's called.
Global supply shortage.
Which everyone has different reasons for, but maybe it's the people quitting, maybe it's the inflation, whatever.
There's a lot of factors involved in making supply being difficult to get.
Yeah, things are breaking down there. People are spending less money. I think there's a big psychological effect that's happened. People are fatigued. They're fucking fatigued. I think the other reason people are quitting their jobs is they're reevaluating everything. So here's the thing people have to understand about stock market. This is what I've understood about stock market, right? Forget technical analysis. Forget going by any rules. Sometimes some people are right. The thing is, the rules change. The game changes, right? You have to interpret the rules, figure out the rules as quickly as you can, make money with those rules, and then the game's going to change again. So you remember when you got in Liban?
Yeah, there was a
big dips. Fed meeting.
Every month the Fed would have a meeting. They'd have a massive dip on the days leading up to it, and then it would recover and then hit all-time new highs almost on a regular basis every single month.
And that's how you made loads of money.
I made loads of money on that. And then in around September, October, the rules changed. The rules,
I told you the rules had changed.
The rules
changed. I kept saying.
And suddenly the very predictable monthly dip and monthly rise went away, and suddenly we're in a new era, and we're still trying to figure out the rules of this new era now.
Yeah. The rules right now are all about the rate hikes. Now, there's a good quote. I think it might be Warren Buffett, who I hate, but whatever. I think he says like high interest rates are like gravity for stocks, right? So it basically means that if the rates go up, it's going to raise stocks. It's going to pull stocks down to more fair values. And stocks are massively overvalued. That was another thing that was like, Here's the other thing. What's happening now? All the metrics are shit. The job metrics are shit.
Inflation metrics are shit.
Retail numbers are shit. And this is coming off of December, which is usually like the best months for...
Yeah, December and January.
Everything is shit across the board, right? As long as things stay shit, I think there's a lot of money in shorting particularly overvalued companies. So you have to know how to value a company. I don't want to give any names out. I don't want to give financial information, but like there are a lot of overvalued companies.
There's a lot of tech companies that have a lot of hard valuations that are probably not deserved.
There could be money in shorting those guys. I don't like to short. I don't like to short because short, you have to get the timing perfect, which is not good. Presume you're an idiot when you go in the stock market. Find something simple and easy, and that's it. My favorite sector, women's fashion. I love women's fashion. One of the reasons I love women's fashion is because no volatility. All the Wall Street guys, all the big better guys, all they think about is cars, iPhones, technology. So they all go into those stocks. No one realizes that women spend the most money. You buy Estee Lauder, you buy Aritzia, you buy one of these fashion chains. They're good. Make sure you have some good, you have a woman to refer to tell you what's in and not. But you buy that, it's just straight lines up. It's just straight lines up. But even the women that stop buying, like even those numbers are really bad now.
Mhm.
It's just bad all over. You want to watch for jobs numbers to come back. You want to watch for retail confidence to come back up. You want to wait for some companies to start announcing their blockbuster in sales and stuff, right?
Yeah, that's when the things will start reversing.
Yeah, and we'll get the rate hikes. It's also with the rate hikes. If you're being very optimistic, you could say we've priced in the rate hikes, and when they happen, it'll actually be like
A relief. It'll be a relief, and it'll go.
yeah, be like, oh, they've happened. Fine, we've all priced in the worst news. If you're optimistic, personally, I think everything else, as long as everything else is shit, you know.
All right, there we go. So that was our stocks and investments corner. I hope you got something useful out of that. So before we call it a day there, just wanted to say a couple of things at the end of the episode. Number one, we've got an email address, which I would absolutely love it if you were to take the time out of your day to, send us a little something and say hi. I mean, if you've gotten this far in the podcast, you clearly have a lot of time on your hands. So, become a proper part of the community and email us at libanislistening@gmail.com. Very straightforward, nothing too complicated. libanislistening@gmail.com. So I think one of the things that Johnny's really excited about is if you've got, something you've created, whether it's a piece of art, a piece of music, a piece of writing, something interesting, please share it with us and, we'll enjoy it, and then we'll in turn share it with the world and tell people what we thought about it. And I promise, I know Johnny's a bit of a dickhead, but I'll restrain him and I will, we'll be positive, we'll be nice. Also, if, you just want to tell me what the weather's like, if you want to tell me what you're going to have for dinner, if you want to just do a little bit of chit chat and let us know that you exist, do you know what? That'd be nice as well. That'd be actually really nice. I mean, how else are we going to build a happy, fruitful, loving relationship if I don't know what you're having for dinner? So send me an email, let me know what's for dinner. Let's have a chat. Bye bye. Bye. Goodbye. Adieu. Arrivederci. Ciao. Sayonara. Vaya con Dios, mi amigo. Hey do. Aya. Annyeonghaseyo.